So first and foremost, red pill. What do we feel about red pill?
Red pill. Red pill does some good things because there is a truth. I know personally guys that like they lost half their money from a divorce, or it's like someone their wife cheated on them, took half their money, took their family. And, you know, that sucks. And there is kind of a narrative that some people hear that, you know, all women are queen, which is not true. Women do have flaws, and the red pill kind of brings those to the surface. The problem with red pill is it brings it way too much to the surface, and it's a lot of bitter men who have been fucked over, had a bad time with women, and now they start to kind of resent women and blame all their problems on women. That's when it gets problematic, because it's not that simple. Men do tons of fucked up shit to women too. Men cheat, men will manipulate women, men will beat women. Like, they'll do all kinds of bad things. It's not that only women do bad things. That's the underlying problem with red pill, but it has some value.
Yeah. Well, I'll put it like this. I'm not even disagreeing with anything about it. Oh yeah, gotcha. I'm not even disagreeing with anything that you guys say about this stuff, and I'll put it this way. If you subconsciously don't like women, or you hate women, or you have some kind of negative connotation to women, the women are not going to like you. Guys that are good with women don't hate women. They love women, and it's subcommunicated. You don't talk to a girl from that place of hate. The self is always coming through. It comes from a place of love. In a roundabout way. I mean, like, loving for who they are and what they are.
One of the red pill concepts is the idea that, like, any woman will cheat on you if she meets a higher status guy. And what is that going to make you act like if you think that? What are you going to start acting like if you believe any girl's going to cheat on you and you're with your girlfriend? You think she could cheat on you at any moment. You're going to be super jealous. You're going to be super demeaning to her. And then what is she going to do because she thinks you're going to cheat? She's going to cheat on you. You actually bring out negative qualities in women by having negative beliefs towards them. So that's the ironic thing, is if you have all these, how would you put it? All these negative assumptions about the opposite sex, and you project them onto women, then they're going to reflect negative shit back onto you.
Yeah.
And that's
you heard it here first. We're coming for you, women. All right. Lock your doors.
Apparently.
Yeah. All right. So the idea is, like, a lot of guys get into it, and they're like, so you have to realize emotions are contagious. Emotions are addictive. If you're addicted to anger, if you're addicted to angry emotions, bad emotions, if you're addicted to depression, it's going to procreate. You're going to look for things to be mad about. You're looking at the world through this lens, and the lens you're looking through is anger. You want to be pissed off. And there's a lot of people nowadays that are like that, especially with the advent of the internet. It's really easy to be angry. You can find anything in the world to be angry about, but because you're focusing on it. Part 2. Part 3.
Audio stuff.
Oh, part 3. Oh, part 2 for you. Yeah. Part 3 for this, though. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Here. Yeah, go for it.
I was watching a red pill YouTube channel, and it was this dude with 50K subscribers.
Yeah.
And he had this story how I was on a trip, and I saw all these married women. All these married women were hanging out, and they saw this Giga Chad, which Chad, if you don't know, is the red pill word for someone who's stereotypically good-looking, tall, big muscles, handsome kind of guy. And he said all the women looked at him like they lusted him, raw primal lust. They were all gonna fuck him. And I saw they had engagement rings, but those engagement rings didn't mean anything. They were gonna cheat on him. I know that they were gonna cheat on him. He doesn't know shit. Mm-hmm. They might have looked at him lustfully, that is possible, but just because he has this preconceived notion that he got from the red pill that all women will cheat for Chad, he sees the world through that lens, and any little evidence he gets that might be the case, he sticks onto it, and then he spreads that to other people. And then you're going to be paranoid when you're around any women that they're going to cheat as soon as you see a taller guy. As soon as you're around a guy who's taller than you, a guy who's more muscular, you're going to get super insecure, and you're not going to trust women. That's going to fuck you over.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the thing. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think and you fixate on the fact your girl's going to cheat on you, guess what she's going to do? She's going to be tenfold more likely to cheat on you. So what you have to do is ultimately kind of, all right, here's the thing. You're a 12 out of 10. There's nobody better for your girl than you, right? So coming from this headspace, aren't you, why would you worry? Why would you worry? If your girl ended up cheating on you with another guy, she'd be an idiot, right? Yeah, she'd be a dumbass, because you're the 12 out of 10. You're perfect for your girl. So coming from that headspace, why do you care? You'll find a better one, because you don't want to date an idiot anyways, right? The same way, so for the girls that watch this too, if your dude cheats on you, like, you could do way better, all right? It's the guy. I'll put it that way. It's not you at any sense of the way. It's definitely the guy. Like, people follow patterns, and oftentimes a cheater is not going to just cheat with you. He's going to cheat with the next girl. He's going to cheat with the next girl until he figures out his shit. And when it comes to this red pill stuff, these red pill things all these people post up all the time, it's just reasons to be mad at girls. It's like all this like kill men movement. It's the same thing, but on the opposite side of things. It's like feminism. Yeah, it's tribalism. You don't want to get in tribalism. It's not us versus them. It's we with we. We're all working together. Men and women are working together. We're trying to work together to create more attractive men and more attractive women. And I'll put it this way: if you hate the opposite sex, you're never gonna date an attractive girl or a truly amazing girl that you'd love to date.
An attractive one, but not one you're gonna have.
Not one you'd like dating.
With.
Yeah, very toxic relationship. Like a lot of you guys are in that red pill stuff. It's fine for a certain level. Like everybody, like the spiral dynamic stuff. Spiral dynamics, you have to go through your tiers of evolution, psychology-wise. And what ends up happening is because you're going through your tiers of psychology. Like if you're coming from a place of fear, of course you got to be angry for a bit because you got to get that momentum, that energy to start moving yourself forward. Then you got to move, then you got to figure out the anger's not getting you anywhere, and you got to move to the next progression and the next progression, and eventually move to a place of altruism and caring for others. But if you're not there, it's fine. You just got to make sure you're not getting stuck in a certain area. And here,
let's try to say something positive about red pill.
Something positive about red pill. It's good for getting away from the
pedestallation.
Pedestalation.
Women.
Yeah, for those of you guys who are putting girls on pedestals, the same way that girls are not fully bad or fully good, the same way that guys are not fully bad or fully good. It's all gray. The one good thing about red pill is it gets you that at least a good portion of the truth, but you don't want to use the truth to crucify the opposite sex. If you're doing that, it's not a good movement for you. It's actually going to hinder your results. It's like these guys who watch dating coaches that go and approach women, but they never do it themselves, and they'll masturbate to them. I know all the material. It's but is it helping you? It's like algebra when you're not like a banker, as we were talking about a second ago.
I think actually, so one thing that's really good about red pill is they talk about being on your purpose a lot. They talk about getting into good shape, improving yourself, reading, working on your business, and all that kind of shit, and how that will make you more attractive to women in general. And that's true. That stuff will help. It's not inaccurate. All those things are beneficial, and not even just for women, just for your own self-esteem and happiness. That's a good underlying message. The problem is when they use that as a crutch, and it's kind of well, I'm too afraid to ever ask a girl out, so I'm gonna get rich, I'm gonna get ripped, I'm gonna get all my life together, and then one day I'll be able to get a girlfriend. When it turns into an excuse, it's kind of lame. But the underlying message of improving yourself, physically, mentally, even spiritually, they talk about, that stuff is good. I agree with the underlying message there.
Yeah. Just the big thing is don't use it as a reason to despise women. It should be a reason, of course, move to a better version of reality, but the better version of reality is that there's no gray zone. I mean, there's no black or white. Everything's gray. If you're I hate all women, you need to grow up. You need to evolve. All right, do you want to move to the next question?
What's the next question?
All right, it was, what are the traits of a high-quality man?
Okay.
All right, so here, I'll jump into it. The traits of a high-quality man is, first and foremost, believing in your own self-worth. You got to believe in your own self-worth. You got to know that you're a 12 out of 10 and believe in yourself. And that comes from two different things. One, proof that you give to yourself, the proof that you go to the gym when you don't want to. Proof that you go and work hard. You work harder than your contemporaries. The proof that you are on the bleeding edge of your life and you're chasing your purpose. You're almost like that Jesus kind of figure. You give off that aura. Well, I'll put it like this. Somebody who chases their purpose. Yeah, be Jesus. Be Jesus. Now we've been sacrilegious. Cancel culture. Now that the long story short is that you want to have a purpose. You want something bigger than yourself you chase. That makes you attractive to the girls. It's also the fact that you're a man. You're not a boy. You're not afraid to punch through the wall. You're not afraid to. You can be nice, but you're also not afraid to be. What's the word? You can draw boundaries with people on occasion. That's a part of being a man. You can draw boundaries. Being nice is awesome, but if you don't have the other side of the spectrum, it's just you trying to protect yourself. It's self. What's the word I'm looking for? Self-preservation. You're seeking. It's not actually being a nice guy. You're seeking self-preservation because you're so afraid of the world and what it might do to you. That's not being a man. That's definitely not being a man in any which way of the word.
I think the biggest single difference between a quote-unquote high-quality man and a low-quality man is your willingness to give up short-term comfort for long-term success, long-term gains. Is the degree in every area of life that you're willing to do that you have the discipline to do that. So someone who's a low-quality man, they're going to eat the junk food whenever the opportunity is there because it's comfortable in the long term. They're going to put a girl on a pedestal and join her OnlyFans instead of just asking a girl out. They're going to do play video games all the time. They're going to put comfort above self-improvement, above putting your stamp on the world before making an impact on the world. And someone who's a high quality person is willing to give up that short-term comfort. David Goggins would be an extreme example. The dude who will run 100 miles even though his bones are breaking. He's halfway, people probably think he's about to die, but he doesn't give a fuck. He's going to take it farther. That's an example of a high quality man. So, and that's what people are going to find attractive. Not just women, but people in general are going to find you to be appealing if you have that energy, because it gives you life in your eyes. It gives you this power in your voice, the way you carry yourself. People feel that you're not just reacting to the world, that you're acting upon the world. That's the question. Are you reacting to the world? You're doing the things that these social media companies want you to do, that video game companies want you to do, that fast food companies want you to do to make yourself comfortable, to go in this catatonic sleep basically throughout life? Or are you exerting yourself in the world? Are you penetrating upon the world? That's the biggest difference between a high quality man and a low quality man.
I have something to add to this while I'm wiping off my face, because I'm starting to get like all sweaty and whatnot. All right, so check it out. Water or whatever. So check it. So when I start going out and I have to go talk to girls, especially with a client, or I have to do it with this guy, we have to shoot like videos on YouTube for it. The first thing I start doing is I start recognizing where I'm like being self-judging. Where I'm afraid of not doing something because I'm afraid of what people think about me. And the first thing I do is I go against that. I go against that energy. So let's say like I'm walking along, and let's say that I see a girl that I think is cute, and I'm a little afraid to talk to her. If I tell myself, hey, I'm afraid of what people are gonna think about me if I talk to her, then what's gonna happen is gonna become anti-momentum. I'm gonna tell myself, oh, I'm not the guy that does that. I'm not the guy that goes talks to girls. Oh no, this is not a safe environment. So the second I feel that judgment or fear of judgment, I have to go against it. I have to go against the grain. And that's a part of being a man. It's that ability to not look at pressure or pain as a bad thing, but like hitting the gym. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he loves that pump. He loves hitting the gym. He loves that burning lactic acid pain that he gets in his muscles. He likes it, and he reframed it. And now guess what? Now he's Mr. Olympia, like multiple years in a run. He's incredible, and it's because he turned pain into pleasure. You can't really get any girls. Literally get girls. Consistent effort towards the cause of getting the girls. Like, I'll put it this way. With like when it comes to like that kind of stuff, when it comes to like your fear of not getting women, it's like what actually you said something. He said something really good about this, about action. Remember one of your fundamentals? Oh, measurable action leads to measurable results. Exactly. What he said. If you're like not putting the effort, it takes effort, dude. It's not. There's no magic pill to being better with this kind of stuff. It takes effort because you got to prove to your mind and your brain, and also to maybe your social circle. Your friends are not gonna like it that you start leveling up. I lost a lot of friends trying to level up myself. So did Avery over here. Like I ever had friends. All right, anyways.
Oh, you have me.
Thank you, Avery. All right, here. Let's go to the next ones. Man, this water is really making it hard to actually use the phone. Let's see. Book frames on control exercises to improve. All right, what are exercises to improve frame control? Honestly, going out and talking to girls and...
There are exercises you can do in terms of going out. Like, let's say you're going out talking to people. To build frame control, you do things that are risky. So do things that are risky. Now, there's different ways you can do things that are bold, right? So like just inviting a girl back to your place, for example. That's going to make your frame stronger, make you less reactive. Because do things that might get you rejected, and then you realize rejection isn't a big deal. You stop fearing rejection. Can you look at that bowl?
I was going to say.
Damn. That's how you get a strong frame. That's a physically strong frame.
That's the guy who should be actually in the video right now. Why we two lumpy guys in the pool telling the guys I'd be better with women. All right, anyways. All right, here. All right, here. That's a really good point, though. Here, let me actually scroll down a little bit. We're gonna keep on your question. I just want to make sure I get down to the bottom one before the phone gets soaked with the pool water. Here, let me scroll down a little bit. All right. So,
you can what?
When it comes to frame control, it's like simply the fact of leaning into that which you're afraid to do.
What happened to it?
All right. If you like, all right. So chasing your purpose.
No, he could hold it and ask the questions for us.
Oh.
So you don't have to keep pressing it.
And you don't have both hands.
All right, guys. He's gonna take it and he's gonna film us for it. Here.
Camera.
Yeah, spin it around. Here. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, here's a good one. If you could go back and talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say and why?
Stop being a little bitch. I mean, that'll be
Yeah, fucking loser.
Stop mentally masturbating. Like, I was constantly in a world of theory because I'm kind of naturally nerdy. So I would watch self-help videos. I would watch like videos how to be attracted to women. I would read books, but I would never ask my crush on a date. You know, I never did that. I would never go approach someone who I thought was attractive and just say, hey, like, want to go out? So I would have got into better shape. That would have been one thing I would have done differently. And then the third one is I would have read a lot more books. I would have spent a lot more time, less time watching How I Met Your Mother reruns and more time reading like philosophy, psychology, history. What else would be good? Successful people's like presidents' biographies, stuff like that. People who had a big impact on the world. spend my time doing things that invest in myself and make me a better person over time, as opposed to, like, I was almost a pro gamer and I got nothing out of that time. I mean, it was fun. Playing some games is fine. I'm not against that, but I was playing like 8 hours a day and almost a pro gamer, but I got not much out of that time except really good video game hand-eye coordination, but, you know, it doesn't help me in real life.
Yeah, I just want to put it out there for the record too. I definitely beat him in any video game on the planet Earth. We will be doing a competition here at some point, and that should be hilarious.
I think it would be better if you won, because that means I actually have a life.
Ooh, man, that was a really good.
Yeah, got you there.
Okay. All right. What's the next question?
All right. How do you become present to the moment and break the momentum of negative habits?
For me, it was kind of like, it was habits. So you have to realize you're the way you think, the mindsets, the beliefs you have are all habitual. Your emotional headspace, the lens you look through, is habitual. It's like when I used to have like a dark cloud over every moment of my life when I was younger. And like as time went on, it kind of dissipated as I led into this and I started chasing my purpose. I used to be extremely shy. I had like no friends. I thought I was gonna be alone forever. And like, it was like a slow changing of my mindset. It like slowly shifted everything for me.
I got two good ones on that one for being more present. First one is doing anything that takes you out of your comfort zone. So, like for example, me becoming a writer, as I started writing at first, I hated it. It wasn't fun at all, but it forces you to develop your ability to focus and get in the zone, get into a flow state. Mm-hmm. And now when I write, since I put enough time to make it a habit, now that gets me in a flow state, it gets me in the zone, it helps me be more present. So anything that takes effort, it could be music production, it could be making YouTube videos, it could be working out, it could be even reading, because reading, you know, the average person today, focus for reading is hard, right? So anything like that is gonna help develop your presence overall, because it develops your focus muscle. You can actually look up research on flow states in psychology that show when you're doing focused work, it actually activates the part of your brain that is associated with presence, with full attention. So that's the first one. Second one is actually meditating. It doesn't have to be a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be some woo-woo kind of hippie stuff. Can be if you want, but just download a meditation app like Calm or Headspace. Do you know any that you like?
I use Calm a lot. I use Calm.
Calm.
Does anyone else here meditate?
That lady's the woman's voice on Calm. I just think it's sexy, to be honest.
You do?
Gets me in the zone.
YouTube? Yeah.
YouTube guided meditation, right?
Yeah.
Do that 10 minutes a day and you're going to get a lot more present. Do it 20 minutes a day, even better. The thing is, at first you're probably going to hate it because you're going to start thinking about other shit. You're going to start getting stressed. Like, why can't I focus? Get through that, expect that. And if you do it for like a month, it's going to transform. Your levels of anxiety are going to go down. Your levels of stress are going to go down. Your levels of focus are going to go up. There's so much scientific research. Look up mindfulness meditation scientific benefits, and you'll see how many scientifically validated benefits there are to it.
Yeah, and all right, so this thing called groundedness in the community, basically it's the idea that it's...
That was the next question.
Was it?
Really?
Can you go deep on the fundamental of groundedness?
Ooh,
all right.
Hell yeah, all right, transition.
Yeah.
I meant to do that. So, totally calculated. When it comes down to being present, all right, so here's the thing. A lot of people think groundedness is like somebody's ability to weather bad shit. It's not even that. It's what it is it's the idea that the bad shit, that's something that would be a big deal to somebody else. So maybe you're talking to a cute girl. For somebody else, that'd be life or death. But for another person, it's not a big deal. It's like breathing. It's like eating food. Putting the spoon into your cereal. It's the same exact thing. There's no emotional connotation to it because it's just not a big deal. So when you go through life, and every time you feel that feeling, like you're like, oh, I don't want to push into the social pressure or something that I fear doing, what you end up doing is that you end up telling yourself that I'm weak, I'm small, this is a bigger thing than me. But every time you go against that grain and you say, I'm going to do this, there's a book called The Art of War.
Stephen Pressfield, I think?
Yeah. So that which you feel resistance to is your true north. When you feel resistance and not doing something, you push into it, that builds that groundedness. So going out and approaching girls. Like we do. If you guys want to do that for a living,
if that gives you anxiety, most people it would.
Yeah, almost nobody doesn't. Like, there's almost nobody that doesn't get anxiety.
Sociopaths.
Yeah, sociopaths.
And they shouldn't be doing it.
No. There's also the hammer individuals, which are just heavy narcissists. But for the most part, when it comes down to this, like every time you do something that you're afraid to do and you come out alive, like you prove to yourself again and again that I'm bigger than this thing. And eventually, over time, it's like it just is.
It's the same thing as developing balance. Yeah. If you wanted to learn how to walk on a tightrope, how would you do it? You would fall off a tightrope time and time again, and you'd slowly get a feel for it. It would stop affecting you. It'd stop throwing you off balance. You'd stop getting nervous and wobbly. You'd start getting comfortable with it because you would see, well, unless you're doing it from 100 feet or something, you would see there's no big deal. There's no consequence. The same thing, you do anything that takes you off balance, anything that makes you uncomfortable, that gets your ego triggered, that makes your ego go, I don't like this. You do that again and again, that's how you become grounded, that's how you become icy, unreactive to others. You stop caring what people think. You stop thinking, oh no, they're gonna judge me, so I'm gonna just hide my personality and be fake and just be super nice and not speak my mind and not have my own opinion.
Yeah, and your personality is fluid. You're not actually the character you think you are. It's your ego that tells you you're a certain person. I call it practicing opposing personalities. So let's say that you're like a really nice guy and you're like, I'm just a nice guy. I can't do that. I can't be mean. Again, we already talked about this. Being that kind of nice guy is coming from a place of self-preservation, not actually being a nice guy. But let's say, hypothetically, you are a nice guy. Let's say that you are the quote-unquote nice guy. You have, for a month or two, you have to actually push to the opposite direction. I did that for a long time. I did it where, like, for a year, I was like, I put myself into a bad boy mentality, and then it evened me out. So now I don't have to always be a nice guy. I can be a douchebag if it comes down to it. If somebody's being mean to me, or they draw boundaries, I draw boundaries. It's like, it comes down to that. Like, practice opposing personality. So if you think you are a certain person, try the other end of the spectrum out. Maybe, like, if you've never tried it, how do you know? And
it's the I'm not that guy fallacy, right? Yeah. That's just not just my personality. I wasn't born that way. I wasn't born to speak my mind. I'm an introvert, so I can't do that. I'm a nice guy. I can't do that. That's what's comfortable to you. But if you do something else and you do it enough time, that will become comfortable to you as well. Yeah. Anything that you do enough will become comfortable. It would be a little inauthentic at first, but then you expand your personality and you can choose whatever gets you the results you want instead of doing the only thing you're comfortable with, which probably isn't getting you the results you want.
This is a quick one, I think. It says, what's the search for in a dating coach?
Oh, okay, we could do that. One, are they doing it themselves? Do they have the results you want? Or do they have the lifestyle you want? Like, that's also what you want to look at. Like, if you're looking at a life coach and, like, he doesn't have the women you want, he doesn't have the life you want, don't go to him. Also, too, is he actually, like, all right, there's going to be this thing in people where you can see it, like, do they authentically care about you? Or are they just going through the motions? Are they trying to sell you? Are they trying to make money? There's, like, yeah, what do you guys say?
Are they just teaching you how to get laid and that's their whole focus? Because that might get you laid, but is that really what you want, just to get laid? Or do you want good relationships? Do you want good interactions with women where it's win-win and you have a deep connection? Because there's a lot of coaches out there, it's just get results, shark mentality, Wolf of Wall Street.
It's good at a certain
if that's
level.
what you want, it's just to get laid, they can help you do that. But if they show some empathy towards women, they seem like they care about women as well, not just you getting laid, and about like having healthy interactions, that's a much higher level, I would say.
I'll actually, this is the one thing I actually might like.
Disagree.
All right, spiral dynamics.
Sure.
All right. So like some coaches are at a certain level in their growth, and sometimes certain clients are too. But you have to realize sometimes a client, what it's going to help out one client's not going to help out another. If a coach is doing like a one size fits all type of coaching, he's a bad coach. Mm-hmm. If he's teaching every client differently, it's because he knows that each client needs something different, and that's how it is with people. Humans are vast. There's no one person that's the same as anybody else on the earth. At least I don't think so. All right, you probably have never met the same person twice. So coming for that understanding, like everybody needs something different. Like so everybody has a different sticking point. Everybody has a different issue. A lot of coaches do a one size fits all approach, and sometimes I heard it a lot where a client will come out on the boot camp, and one guy is a little bit too advanced for the coach, or wants more attractive women, more cooler women. The coach is like, I don't want to do that. I just approach and I cross my fingers the girl likes me. He doesn't know what he's doing wrong or right, so he doesn't know how to help that client out. So you know what he does? He's like, oh dope, you already know this. Here, help me out with the other clients. No, dude, motherfucker, it's your job. Like, what are you talking about? This is your job. Teach me. I had a result I wanted. I paid you money. I paid you good money. I trusted you. And like that's the problem. If you're a coach and you don't know how to like teach multiple different styles of coaching, you don't know how to help a client out at different levels, that's your problem, man. Like every client needs something different. Everybody needs something like a different, like you can't medicate everybody the same.
Okay, so I would disagree in that actually I think he doesn't disagree with me, and that he actually agrees with me without knowing it. So because you can be someone who teaches how to be a closer or whatever while still teaching empathy. You can teach both. It's not like those things have to contradict each other. And some people who teach a negative mindset, a win-lose mindset, I don't think you actually have to go through a win-lose mentality to have success. I don't think there ever has to be that phase. I didn't have that phase until there was a late period where I kind of had that phase where I was like, dominate, do whatever it takes to win. But that wasn't when I was starting. That's not what got me good. That actually took me backwards and made my mentality less healthy. So I don't think that's necessary. I think you can cut that out. You do need to know how to go for what you want, how to go for the close. But you can do that while also having empathy.
It's a gray zone. There's no black or white answer to anything.
Exactly.
And I'll end on this note. All right, so a surgeon. They actually did a study on this, and they want to see how good surgeons get and how many how many lawyers they had to hire, how much money they had to put into bills and whatnot, how many mistakes they make. And you'd assume that over time, as a guy's working on somebody, he would get better at it, right? It's not the case. What ends up happening is at a certain point, they peak, they go up, and then they get to a certain point like, fuck it, I know everything, I don't need to learn anymore. They stop studying, they stop trying to improve, then they start going downhill slow. It's like when you put a lobster in a bucket and you slowly turn up the heat, it doesn't know it's boiling. Same thing with a coach. If a coach doesn't try to constantly improve his abilities, his skills, he's not constantly studying, learning, trying to become the best he can possibly be for his clients, there's a good chance he's falling down. He's not as good as he says he is.
It's the same thing as musicians, almost every good band, they hit a peak and then they start to sell out and lose touch with it. So that's perfectly natural. Last thing I would say is testimonials. If someone can't put together testimonials, it's a big red flag. Testimonials can be faked, obviously, but it's definitely better to have testimonials than someone who's never got a testimonial of getting tangible, measurable results, right? Of I met my girlfriend because of his help. That's a lot better than someone who's he made me feel good about myself. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. There's idiots in this. All right, anyways, let's finish this up.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah. So anyways.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, people.